Innovation pays off.
Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about a theme which is very close to my heart, which is parenting, because I believe that all the important lessons life has taught me, I have learned the best and most useful ones from the perspective of a parent. And I guess that is the reason that I chose to be with the kids all the time, and I chose to work as a school leader. In a situation like this, in a crisis like this, the COVID-19 pandemic, this pandemic has brought with it so many new challenges for families around the globe. And though we are all adapting to these changes happening around us, but many of the parents are finding it really very difficult, very stressful to balance work, caring for children, and maintaining the household, especially when they have to do it without their usual support. And this can be both this pandemic time, the time of isolation that we are getting with our children, this can be both a boon or a bane. But because we can develop our relationships, maybe we can strengthen our bond with the children. But for now, we are going through most of the parents are going through a lot of conflicting feelings and priorities, and some really real challenges, some practical challenges. So today I want to give you a few tips based on my experience with children and based on my experience with parents also, which I believe can help you in navigating this time. Because see, our first and foremost concern is the physical, mental and intellectual safety and development of our children and of our own also. So I believe that maybe these few ways that I'm going to suggest can be a way forward for you to ease the challenges, ease the problems of this time. So in this, the first suggestion that I want to offer is that let us help the children satisfy their curiosity. Because this is something very new for us adults also. So it's very difficult for children to make sense of it from their young perspective. So I would suggest that let us help them. Of course, we don't have all the answers to their questions, which is all right, but at least encourage their questions. Let us allow them to ask, and let us help them find the answers to it. So many times we snub the question. We say, let's not talk about it, because we believe that we are protecting the child. But what happens is that child is afraid. Anything that a human brain cannot make sense of, it fears. So the best way to make your child feel safe is by helping them to find the correct answers, to find the right answers in whichever way it is possible. So help them do it, maybe with the help of internet, and at the same time it can be a great opportunity to teach them to differentiate between real and the fake news, and how to think critically about a problem which the whole world is facing, but still nobody has so far been able to make any sense out of it. Next, I would want to say that now the time of isolation is the time which is most difficult for children. For a long time, parents and schools have used it as a punishment measure. Like if somebody is creating some trouble, the child has been told to take a time out, and they will sit facing the wall and all. Long time back it happened like that. But now this virus has made this a norm, a way of life, right? Social distancing. So our job is to make the children feel that this is not a punishment. This is just a situation of life. We cannot even tell them that this is a temporary situation, because we don't know if, God forbid, this is going to be again a way of life with us. So at least make them connect, let them contact virtually with everybody they are connected as friends or as family. Okay, so through video calls, make them talk to relatives, to their friends, and do not let this social distancing become a distance between them and their important relationships. That can really help. Then, if possible, do not watch TV, the news I mean, and do not allow the kids to watch news. Turn the TV off if the news are on and the kids are around. Rather, I would say that for your dose of this news, please refer to some online magazine or the periodical, rather than watching all the drama and the masalabazi of the news that keeps on going on the channels for their own only God can understand reasons. Because media with its own way adds fervor or anxiety to anything they want to. But our kids do not have to go through all this drama. Our kids do not have to the challenge to navigate all the conflicts which are being shown there. So my advice is that do not watch TV, and especially the news when the kids are around. Then the most important part of this pandemic is learning to take good care of ourselves. So please practice good self-care and make your child practice it. Self-care, I say. You also must take your care for yourself. Why? Because children are watching how we act in a certain situation. So it's very, very important that in these circumstances we take care that what we are eating, about our hygiene, about our time in sun and air, okay, and about everything which is important for our health, physical and mental health both. So taking some time out for breathing, long breaths, even when you cannot go all the way to do a proper meditation, just make your child sit with you and tell them that mom is feeling a little frustrated or anxious today, so will you please take 10 breaths with me, because it really calms one down. So that way, and then eating healthy food, because now you have a very solid excuse that eating out or eating junk is not at all safe. So I guess this can be a great opportunity to turn their attention towards good eating habits. The next thing that I would want you to know is that in India we think that reading is a luxury. We treat reading as a luxury. But my experience tells me that reading should be a compulsory activity in every home, because when you have different type of constraints, you cannot maybe watch good stuff on TV, you cannot meet friends, and you feel really bogged down. The old way of entertaining yourself, the old way of exploring a new world and traveling through your imagination can be reading. So if you can get a hard copy of a book, great. Otherwise, there are countless free PDFs are available on the internet. So I would suggest strongly to make it a routine to read together. Kids are very, very anxious, I suppose so, because we adults are. So kids also are anxious. That's a different thing, that they vent it out with some different excuse. Like when they are not able to make sense of their emotions, only then they vent out. But it does not mean that they are not worried about what is happening. So talk about it, I would say. Just tell them that this is okay to be worried. This is okay to be sad because they are bored. So many times parents tell them, so that what's being said about? Why are you looking so grumpy about this? So what's all the kids are sitting at home? That's no big deal. This is not right, I would say, because if a child feels grumpy for any reason, allow them to be so. Okay, allow them to feel the feeling, but at the same time redirect their attention to something positive, to something bright. Okay, so maybe taking a walk on your home terrace, and if the lockdown is a little eased around you, then taking a walk in the street while maintaining social distancing and wearing the mask when you go out. So with all these precautions, redirecting the child's emotions to some brightness and to perk them up will definitely change the environment of the whole whole family. Then especially when the kids are teenagers, because teens are what? Emotional lightning rods, I would say. I read it somewhere, I believe. So they are helpless before their emotions. So unless until we teach them how to own the emotions and how to be okay with feeling whatever they are feeling, they will not be able to make sense of it. And because I've been working with children, mentoring them about behavior, changing their behavior, modifying their behavior, one thing that I have seen works 99% times is that when we make people aware of their behavior, if it is not good, they slowly start changing it. They start at least getting convinced that this is not the desirable behavior. So with teens especially, it's very, very important that they are allowed to be. But at the same time, yes, you can always give your attention to that, dear, I feel you don't look in a very good mood today. So can we talk about it? And if the child does not want to talk about it, then we can say it's fine. Sometimes I do feel like this when I am sad and I don't want to talk about it. So it's okay. Maybe you can listen to some music or you can watch TV. It helps. It helps me. I hope it will help you also. So this sort of conversation will make your child feel that you understand what they are going through. And if they can feel that you empathize with them, you can imagine yourself in their shoes, they will start sharing their feelings with you rather than venting them out on you. Then one other activity that I believe helps a lot is doing one family act, one family game, one family activity together every day. Now you don't have to go to any long stretches to plan or think what to do. It can be just having a topic of conversation every day for 15 minutes. Okay, where nobody is checking their phones, everybody is giving full attention and everybody is sharing whatever they think about it, about that particular topic, and nobody is making any judgments or trying to connect it with one's with one's personal self. All right, where we are just talking about something for the sake of it, for knowing each other's opinions about it, or the family dinner. Like one meal where all eat only when the dinner is ready and all can sit together and eat, and say they started with maybe a prayer together or any activity, whichever makes them feel connected and bonded. And during that time, nobody uses any phone and the TV is off. And make sure that you keep changing this activity every week. I do not say that do not take dinner together, let the dinner go on as well, but maybe the next week you want to do some other activity also, which can be shorter if you cannot manage that much time. So maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but especially dedicated family activity really helps people, and this is great time to do that, trust me, because we don't know once our work starts, once the schools and everything reopens, when we will get time for this, unless until we understand its importance and we want to make time for it later on also. Next, one thing that I would want to share with you is that I have seen kids feel really powerless in most of the families, and that is one thing that they find very, very difficult to cope with. Why? Because there was a time in their life, a kid feels that there was a time when he or she was the center of the universe. And this time was just a few years back, like when they were, really young, and they were dependent on you for everything, and you were pampering them like anything. You were there to fulfill all their, wishes, to obey all their commands. And suddenly they see that, like a piece of, modular furniture, now they are pushed to a corner, tucked in a corner, so that you can have your space to do what you want to do. So do something about it. It's important to show kids love, boundaries, and power. Show as in to give them. Show, I used word show for love. Alright. So to give them love, to give them boundaries also, but these should be both ways. Like generally what happens is, we adults, we parents decide and we tell them that these are the boundaries they should not cross. They should not yell, they should not disobey, they should not disturb, they should not ask difficult questions, uncomfortable questions. But we do not put ourselves in these boundaries. We can ask whatever we like, we can yell at them. So this is the worst thing that we can do for this relationship, which is and which can be the best relationship in the world. So guys, show them love. Scientific research says that we need to give 80 to 100 brief loving touches to our children in a day. A small pat on their back sometimes, or just caressing their hair, or just putting a hand on their shoulder while they're doing their work, whatever they're doing, just to express that all this time you are there and you feel this love for them. All right. And then about the power, that how would they feel power? Generally what happens is, when we talk to parents and we say that, do you think you are doing good job as parents? So I have seen mothers would say, yes ma'am, see, whenever he wants to eat anything, he just utters the word and I cook it for him. And when I ask the same question to fathers say, yes ma'am, he asks for anything, and even before his sentence is complete, I bring that thing for him. I mean, that much I want to do this for him. And I wonder, because if we think that the only way we can express love to our children is by giving them things to eat or any other things, naturally one day when the kid will be able to cook for himself or manage his own food and manage his own things, whatever toys or gadgets he or she wants, they would not feel the need to be close to you. They would not know how else, which is the other way to express love or care, because all the symbols of love and care that they have seen have been the things. So it's very, very important that we share these, loving emotions with them. We share our love with them. We share our independence and freedom with them. Freedom to make mistakes. Independence when they want to, make a decision, to make a choice. And we just stand there to give them support in case they go wrong. Allow them to go wrong. We all know, the mistakes have taught us more important things of life rather than the successes. And finally, last tip that I want to offer is that generally what happens is, we believe that children are, either our employees or our slaves. I know this is a tough talk, that it may seem to you like that. We think that they are our slaves or our employees, and they have to come up to our expectations, only then we will give them the feeling of being ours. So for that, we keep on, just imposing our expectations on them, one thing. Or in the other extreme cases, we feel that just because I don't want my child to be my slave or my employee, I will not at all interfere or support or participate or involve or engage with whatever she or he is doing. Helicopter parenting or over parenting, dono extremes, both the extremes, right? So let us try to avoid that. Let us try to avoid that. And how to avoid that? Just be aware. Whenever you do something and you feel bad about it, or you feel not sure about it, just ask yourself that, was this an act of over-parenting, or was this an act of non-involvement, which I call helicopter parenting? If it was anything like that, it cannot lead to a healthy, balanced relationship with your child. But if you treat your child as a full-fledged human being, the way you treat other people, grown-ups about whom you care, you say sorry when you even bump into them by mistake, right? You do not want to hurt them for anything. Even if you feel bad about something they have said, you just want to stay calm, and you want to manage your emotions rather than telling them that they have hurt you. All the behavior that we do with the people with whom we value our relationships, we have to learn to behave exactly like that with the child, as another human being. Being young, being small should not be a disadvantage. So with this, and with this assurance that this too shall pass, I will sign off now and express my gratitude to all of those who stayed till the end of this conversation, and to Fizz Robotic Solutions for inviting me to this platform to connect with you all. I am there. If you have any questions, please write in the comments, and I'll try to answer with whatever resources or wisdom I have gained through these years. And I'll be posting my email ID also in the comments. So if you want to take this conversation forward about parenting, and you want to share any challenges that you might have been facing and I might help you with, please feel free to write to me. Thank you so much, people. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep social distancing, but at the same time, do not be distant from the people you care. This is the time when you need to be even closer psychologically. Thank you so much. God bless you, everyone.